One of the most dynamic individuals out. This brother has become world renowned. This brother is a child psychologist. He's fighting for us day in and day out. Yeah, this brother is serious. He's not playing around. I talked to him today. We said, look, bring that school right here to St. Louis. Bring it up the block. I'll support you. We'll support you. The people here in St. Louis will support you. I want you to put your hands together for the Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson, Ping Pong himself. Our big brother.
St. Louis, for sure, make some noise, Black Thunder. How's everybody doing? Am I coming through clear there? Yeah. All right. What I want to do is I want to start by talking to the parents. It's been 2 years since the last time I was in St. Louis, and a lot has happened in those 2 years. And a lot has happened in the field of education, and I want to talk to you all about that as parents. And what I want to do is I want to leave some time at the end so we can do some Q&A. Since the weather kept a lot of us away, that opens up time for Q&A. Well, the first thing I want you parents to understand, grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, that the time has passed for you to continue giving teachers in your child's school the benefit of the doubt. In fact, I would argue that the entire school-to-prison pipeline, the entire psychoacademic holocaust, the entire miseducation machine operates off of the assumption that you think they're doing what's in your child's best interest. When you don't know, what do? Think about the last time you was at your child's school's meeting and they asked you, can they evaluate for a learning disability? Or they asked you, could we test for ADHD? Or they asked you, could we see if he had a behavioral problem? Now, you probably said to yourself, nothing's wrong with my child. To yourself. But because they were asking, you felt that you were obligated to let them investigate their hunches. And I'm telling you today, that you should never go along with the school's agenda unless it agrees with yours.
That's right.
What I need you to know is that the school is an extension of the mass incarceration industry. And that the teacher is the new police officer. And the principal is the new warden. And it's important for you to understand that's the reason why they care more about how your child acts in school than they do about whether they learn or not. Think about it. 85% of the time when the teacher contacts you, it ain't about learning. It's about what? Behavior.
That's right.
The job of a school is to educate. The job of a prison is to control. So if the school is controlling and not educating, it is in fact a jail. Now let me go a step further. When they tell you in St. Louis that we have a black boy problem, when they say we got a crisis in black boys in St. Louis, what you're letting them do is take the problem and make your sons responsible for a problem that is really on the shoulders of the white racist female teacher. See, the problem in St. Louis schools is not the black boy. The black boy can learn as well as any other child. The black boy even loves school as much as any other child.
That's right.
The problem is something is being done special to the black boy. But they got St. Louis thinking that the black boy is special. Something special is being done to the black boy. And what is being done specially to the black boy? I'll tell you. The problem with public school in St. Louis, Kansas City, where I'll be Sunday, the problem with it, I'll be in Africa next week. They got the same problems, believe it or not. Because although colonialism is over, the colonialist curriculum still dominates Africa. Okay?
That's right.
And then week after next, I'll be in China, where the Chinese racism is miseducating black children in China. Oh yes, this is global. It ain't just America, it's everywhere. But let me tell you what the problem is here. 97% of all teachers are white women. 97% of all teachers are white, racist, middle-class females. Now, when your son goes to school on Monday, is he being taught by the school building? Is he being taught by his desk? Is he being taught by the chair? Is he being taught by the books? Is he being taught by the lesson plan? He's being taught by a white woman. So when they say black boys have trouble learning, they have trouble learning from who? Are y'all following me? See, they say he has trouble learning. Learning from who? Because he ain't got no problem learning from you. He don't have a problem learning from me. So he don't have a problem learning. He has a problem learning from white racist female teachers. Let me take it to another level. I'm going to make it real simple. The black boy is struggling because public education in Missouri is dominated by white women. The school is a female institution. The school is a female institution. It is ran by women. So when an alpha male child shows up to learn, when an alpha male child shows up to learn, and he is unable to assume the behaviors of a female student, if he cannot squeeze himself in a female's box, he's considered to be disordered. In other words, if a black boy can't act like a girl, there's no place for him in St. Louis public schools. Oh yes. See, the purpose of public education in St. Louis, 3 purposes. It's not to start your own business. It's not to go to college. It is not to graduate. It can't be to graduate. Because only 1 out of every 4 black boys graduates in America. So graduation can't be the goal. So what is it? 3. The first goal of public education, for the girls and the boys, by the way, but especially the boys, is to teach your son that white people run this damn city. We do what we want when we want to do it. It is nothing you or your mother or father can do about it. The first purpose of public education is to teach black children that white people are in control. The second goal of public education for black boys is that you better learn how to act like a girl if you even want to be successful around white males. The effeminacy. The effeminacy. The effeminacy. This is a new movement that came into fruition with Barack Obama. I can talk about him now because he's gone. I could talk about him 2 years ago because you niggas was crazy over it. I can talk about him. Leave my president alone. Does anybody even know why Barack Obama was made president? 2 reasons. Every president in America, everyone, is given 2 mandates. Domestic for America, international for the world. What was Obama's international mandate? Obama's international mandate was to go into Africa and make Africa safe for the exploitation of its resources by Western powers. He did that through AFRICOM. Now, all throughout the continent of Africa, you have United States military bases and weapons of mass destruction planted in key areas that have the most abundant deposits of natural resources. You know why they did that? So if Nigeria or Ghana or the Congo or Benin or Tanzania or Ethiopia ever decide that they don't want to play ball with America no more, they will invent a terrorist and then go in and make Africa safe for democracy. But what was Obama's domestic mandate? Because some of you Negroes thought he was Jesus come back. Don't hide now. Do not hide. Y'all quiet as hell now. 4 years ago, whatever. He got 4 more times, 4 more years. Leave him alone. You know why Obama was made president domestically? Obama's job was to homosexualize the black community. And he succeeded. And it had to be a black president to do it. Why? If George Bush tried to homosexualize St. Louis, y'all would have went crazy. If Bill Clinton tried to homosexualize St. Louis, y'all would have went crazy. If Richard Nixon tried to homosexualize St. Louis, y'all would have rioted, protested. That ain't the way we live. But because they used a blackface to do it, you went along with the okie doke. And let me be clear, because I'm not anti. I don't hate no African. I want to be clear about that. I love my gay brothers, gay, lesbian sisters. I love you, but I disagree with your behavior and why. It ain't got nothing to do with no morals. Nothing to do with the Bible or the Quran. I'm a Pan-Africanist, so I'm a political pragmatist. So anytime somebody introduces something into our community, I got one question. How does this benefit us over the long term? That's the only question I got. If men are going to marry men, I want to know, how does it benefit the black community over the long term? If black women are going to marry black women, how does it benefit us as a people? And black women, you need to check yourself. Because y'all remain holy. That brother needs some therapy. Get that brother a therapist. I know we got an MSW in here, LPC. That brother clapped too damn hard. I'm picking with you, my brother.
That was good.
Okay? But what we got to understand is that America thrives on confusing black folks. The enemy of progress is confusion. When you don't know what to do, you don't do anything. And because the black agenda is never allowed to be the #1 agenda anymore. See, when Barack Obama became president in 2008, you were the priority minority in America. That's right. For 43 presidents, you were the priority minority. What do I mean when I say priority minority? I mean every president had to take a position on black American issues. Everybody. Whether you were pro-black or anti-black, you had to say where you stood on black America. After Obama, you are no longer the priority minority. You are the minority of the minorities. Homosexuals are more important than you now. Oh yes, gay sex is more important than black folks, yeah. Illegal immigrants are more important than you now. White women are more important than you now. Everybody more important than black folks. And guess what? It's your fault, not Obama's. Because 40 million people don't sit still for one Negro to be successful. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that, but you did. And you know why you did it? Because your definition of progress needs to be reworked. Because your definition of progress, like most of black America, is to what extent can black people force white people to accept them? That's how you operate. Yes, it is. Half of you in here with 2 master's degrees, I bet you live in a white neighborhood. Because that's success. I have my 2nd master's, so I need to go live with crackers. That's your life. That's your life. See, we got to be honest tonight, St. Louis, and in being honest, we have to admit that the central problem facing Black America is that you are still in love with your oppressor. See, you know why you don't want freedom? Why don't Black America want freedom? You say you want freedom, but you don't want no freedom. You don't want no damn freedom. And why don't St. Louis want freedom? Because freedom brings with it responsibility. And you don't want that. That's right. Hotep Negroes too. You dashiki Negroes, you ain't no different. You ain't no damn different. I'm not talking about the people with dashikis on here. I got one on, right? But I'm talking about the conscious community is no more conscious than the rest of us. They just read a couple books, burned a few more incense, had a few more green smoothies, and an extra pound of shea butter. That's all. Still slaves. But see, some of us know how to wrap up our Halloween costumes so people start mistaking the imitation for the reality. You love white people. That's why you always hear Black people say, I don't just want to help Black people. How often do you hear that? This ain't just about us. My God loves everybody. How many Negroes you can sing like that? My God loves everybody. Do you know what that really means? When a Black person says, my God loves everybody, what they're really trying to say is that they love everybody except those who look like them. See, y'all got this multicultural problem in Black America where you got to be for everybody. Y'all know that, right? Black people don't feel comfortable because you've been raised in church. I'm going to talk about church for a minute. Negroes is shaking in here. This must be a church singing. My brother like, damn, I love this brother. I hope he don't say the wrong thing. Let's talk about church. Not religious, but the church as a political institution. I need y'all to get this. I have nothing to say about your religious beliefs. I have nothing wrong with what's in the Bible. No issue with biblical teachings. Most of our Pan-African heroes were preachers. Marcus Garvey was a Christian. So I don't have an issue with your beliefs. I have an issue with your political principles. Now, churches are colorblind by nature. Churches don't do politics, allegedly. So when you grow up in a Black church, you are conditioned not to see color or culture. You only see Christians and Muslims. And that's your damn problem. Because the Chinese is a Muslim and a Christian too, but he only looking for Chinamen. Arabs are Muslims and Christian too, but they're only looking for Arabs. East Indians are Muslims and Christian too, but they're only looking for East Indians. Your problem is your religion don't serve your political agenda. You're the only people in America who have to go over here to pray and over here to save Black people. Have you noticed that? The European Jew can rob you and pray right there. The Chinese man to sell you them dirty shrimp and go right to church and pray right there. The East Indians will talk about opening up another store in your neighborhood right in church. And after they talked about how to get the Black dollar, they will pray to their God right there. Their God serves their political agenda. Your God doesn't, and that's why you last. See, the problem with church, not religion, the politics of church, is that it takes too much from Black people and gives us so little in return. How much we give to church every Sunday? $14 million nationally. $14 million nationally. Do y'all have mega churches in St. Louis? How many? 3, 4, 5, a dozen?
Not black. Not black. Not black mega church.
Let's just say 6. 3 to 6.
No black mega church.
Let me ask you a question. Is there a mega church in St. Louis that's been open for at least 5 years that has a bank, a supermarket, a school, and a hospital? Is there a Black church in America? A mega church? You're not talking about the storefronts. They don't have the income. But do we have a mega church in America that has a bank, a supermarket, a hospital, and a school? Yes. No, we don't. Queen Mother, how you doing? don't have it. And that's insane. That's absolutely insane, because how can the institution take so much and give you so little? Our problem with the church is they take out a big mortgage to build this big prayer house. And guess who has the responsibility for paying off the mortgage? You do. You do. And who collects the mortgage for the black bank? For a black church, a white bank. So your Jesus money goes to white people. How much you want to bet? Every black church in St. Louis, the mega churches, got their money in the white bank. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? Now, your Jesus money goes to crackers. Now, cracker, get your money. All right? And what do they do with your money? They go and invest in white people to come into the ghettos of St. Louis with your Jesus money and build mini mansions, strip malls, college apartments, raising their property value. And then guess what? They end up pushing out the same people who finance the gentrification. In other words, God's money is doing the devil's work. See, the church has given up certain core beliefs that we got to get rid of if we want to rise as a people. We ain't got to get rid of the church. We got to get rid of the core beliefs. Core belief number one: money is the root of all evil. Guess what, St. Louis? Money is not the root of all evil. Not having no goddamn money is the root of all evil. When you leave here tonight under the moonlight of St. Louis, and you driving home, who you ducking from, millionaires or Tay-Tay? Listen, money symbolizes abundance. God put us here to be abundant. And the problem with black folks is we let handkerchief head hustlers convince us that you got to die to realize heaven. You're supposed to get it right here while you're living. God put you on earth to get it now and here, not later. They made heaven a goal as opposed to a reality. I don't want you waiting to get to heaven. I want you to make heaven now. What did Christ say? Your heaven is here and now. But if they can convince you that you don't get it till you die, but the Chinese man is getting his heaven now. Arab got his heaven now. East Indian got his heaven now. The Negroes don't want it till they die. And then when you get up there, it's going to be a ghetto because you're going to the white man's heaven. Because most of you pray to a white Jesus. Yes, you do. You pray. See, there's two Jesuses in the black community. There's two. Some of y'all praying to Jesus Christ. And some of y'all praying to Jesus the Cracker. Who's on your wall at home right now? Is it Jesus Christ or is it Jesus the Cracker? Let me help you out because y'all are confused. I don't know what to say. Listen. Jesus Christ was born in the cave in Ethiopia. Jesus Cracker was born in the manger in Bethlehem. Jesus Christ came from a blue-black tribe. Yes. Tribe of Judah. Yes. I think Jesus Cracker came from Donald Trump's family. Jesus Christ got feet like burned brass and hair like lamb's wool. Jesus Cracker looked like Michael Bolton. Who on your wall? And then some of you Negroes cheat because you love white folks. This is what you do. You say, Dr. Umar's right. We have no business praying to a white God. So guess what you do? You go down to the Christian store. And you know, they don't get a black Jesus. They get a Cablinasian, Mediterranean, Obama-looking Christ. I know what I'm talking about. That super light skin with the long eyelashes, red lipstick, no shirt on. Metrosexual Jesus sitting on. You don't want no black Jesus. Black people people don't want to see anything that looks like themselves. You can't see that. Oh yes! Black men marry outside their race more than all other men put together as a percentage. Black men marry outside their race more than all other men put together as a percentage. I ain't got nothing against the white female. I wouldn't want to disrespect her. I got 2 daughters myself. I would hope she wouldn't disrespect my daughters, but I'm against interracial marriage. And the reason I'm against interracial marriage because marriage is a what? Financial contract. Marriage is a financial contract. Y'all might cover it up with romance and love and stuff, but at the foundation is economics. If you don't believe me, go to any divorce court. When the last time you've been in a divorce court said, I want half my love back? For no love, she wanted chat. Marriage is financial, and because marriage is financial, it means what? When you get married, you're investing in the other person. So when a black man marries a she-devil, he's investing in crackers. Now let's go a step further. Women live longer than men, right? The black woman on average lives longer than the black man. And the white woman on average lives longer than everybody in America. So if I marry a white woman, Michael Jordan or Tate Diggs or Charles Barkley, Cuba Gooding Jr., Sidney Poitier, Kobe Bryant, James Earl Jones. How the hell can King Jafi Jafar of Zamunda with a damn lion on his heart have a cracker for a queen? You black folks is crazy as hell. You the damn lion of Zamunda and you got a cracker queen. But anyhow, when these black men die, the wife lives on, right? She gets his retirement. She gets his SSI. She gets his pension. Do you think she's going to bring any of that money back to your neighborhood and donate any of it to your community? And this is why I consider interracial marriage to be one of the greatest acts of betrayal a black man can participate in. And you know what I find to be so disgraceful? Black men find it out of this world when they ask me. Like I'll be on an airplane, right? My brother comes sit next to me. Doc, I gotta ask you this, brother. And I need you to be real honest. Ain't nobody on this plane but you and me. Are you really telling me you never had sex with a white girl? No, I haven't. But it is so common for black men to do that, that it's considered. I got my red, black, and green. We're good looking now. See, you Negroes think red, black, and green is played out. It'll never play out. Until this flag is the only flag we pledge, it'll never play out. That's right. Negroes talking about something. You keep talking that black stuff. Black stuff. Well, the question is, if I'm talking black stuff, what the hell are you talking? Ain't nobody go up to the Chinese and say, stop talking Chinese stuff. Ain't nobody go to the Jews and say, stop making Holocaust movies. They come out with 2 Holocaust movies and say, yeah, ain't nobody tell them to stop talking about it. But soon when you talk about slavery, first thing they say, get over it. The Jews, they have to get over it. They lost 6 million. I can empathize with that. It was wrong. But I lost 100. How dare you? Not only that, my Holocaust is the only one in recorded history. My Holocaust is the only one in recorded history where the victims were stripped of their humanity. St. Louis, I need you to remember something really well because white folks are trying to remix the slavery conversation. And they're trying to say that slavery was multicultural because everybody was a slave at some point in time. That's true. Most groups were enslaved at some point in time. But you need to understand, no group ever enslaved. Check your Bible, check your Quran, check Europe, check Asia, check Australia, check the entire globe. You are the only people ever enslaved in world history who were stripped of their humanity. St. Louis, do you not remember before we could fight to be free? See, y'all skip straight through the abolitionist fight. Y'all go from slavery to civil war. Our first 200 years in America, we had to fight to prove we were human beings. Did you forget that part? Did you forget that part? They said they were animals, that we was a half monkey and a half man. And I find that interesting. You know why? Because when you look at a monkey close, next time you go to the St. Louis Zoo, y'all got a zoo? I want you to get up on the monkey. And I want you to look at the monkey's phenotype. Now, African people, phenotypically, we have a broad nose. Why? Because Africa is humid. The nose is broad so you can suck in more oxygen. In Europe, the nose is small because it's cold as hell. It'll fall the hell off. You understand? Does the monkey have a broad nose? Or does the monkey have a small yellow nose like the cracker? African people phenotypically have broad lips. Phenotypically and historically, you got white blood now, but phenotypically and historically, broad lips. Does the monkey have broad lips like Shaka Ranks? Or does the monkey got small little lips like Donald Trump? Now, let's look at the world famous hips and buttocks of the African. You're like this. Good God Almighty. Have you ever seen the gorilla? The orangutan? Do they have an African buttocks? Or do they have a flat ass like a cracker? And that's why they ass flat. That ain't no African, that's a European. And if you shave the hair off of many of these primates, see the fur black on many of them. But when you shave it off, the body is pale white. So whose ancestor is really the monkey? And see the problem we fall into. See, this is why I'm building the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Oh yes, this one. And I'm telling you now, it's going to be an unapologetically African alpha male institution. We breed men. Had a mother call me up and she said, Dr. Johnson, I love you, brother, but my son is, he's questioning himself right now. And I want to bring him to FDMG. Will he be allowed? Sure. She said, but you don't believe in homosexuality. I don't. So why is my son allowed if you don't agree? Because your son ain't gay. He's confused. Black children, babies don't have an identity, y'all. Young children ain't got no kind of identity. But when you get bombarded with a social media that has an LBGT agenda, when you get bombarded with cable and TV and the radio and a hip-hop movement that used to be alpha male, then you start questioning who you are. Gay boys can come to my school and guess what? I don't even have to talk to them about homosexuality. All I have to do is show them the divinity in African manhood and they'll come back to where they belong. It is nature's design that people curve to the truth if you give it to them. Confusion cannot stand one day with the truth. But the problem with us, we don't want to know the truth because knowing the truth means you're going to have to get up and be responsible for what happens to us. And we don't want that. We don't want that. Brothers and sisters, last year, black women, I love my sisters, but you spent $9 billion on weave and perm last year. I'm not knocking nobody in here, I love y'all. If you permed out, you fine with me, because you grew up in my generation. I'm 40 years old. So my sisters who 40 and over, you come from a time where women were made to believe that the Eurocentric female beauty standard was for everybody. So I'm not knocking no sister in here for being processed. And brothers, you got to be slow to bring her into natural hair. Because anybody who knows hair, and I'm a barber, if you know hair, you know what? That sometimes there can be some scalp trauma. It's all right, ladies. Some of y'all got scalp trauma. See, that's why when it's time for Dr. Umar to get married, when I found my queen, I'm not asking the questions y'all asking. How much money you make? How many kids you got? Where you work? How many degrees? Damn that! Let me ski your scalp! Damn the check! Let me see the scalp! Brothers, you gotta inspect the scalp on the queen. I dated a sister one time, she had natural hair, I thought. Got home from the veggie restaurant. She took it off. This was bald with a damn tail in the back. Cut that shit. The hell I'm gonna do with that? Stop laughing. But ladies, in all due respect, I don't blame black women for being processed. I blame black men. Brothers, why is it our fault? Why is it our fault they spend $9 billion a year trying to look like white women? Do you want to know why? Because they've studied us and they have studied our tastes. And the black woman has found out that the black man prefers a woman who might have the black woman's body, but he wants her to have the white woman's phenotype. It's on us. If sisters knew that we wouldn't date them unless they were natural, they would all switch. Because nobody wants to be alone. But the truth of the matter is black brothers be half-stepping, laughing at sisters with perms, but won't date one with natural hair. These are some of the hypocrisies that we have not addressed yet. See, we got 3 mental illnesses we got to deal with.
Come on.
Illness number 1, black people rely on God far too much to solve their problems. That's number 1. That's number 1. Ain't nobody relying on God like you, and then you make excuses. I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual. Got me incense. That ain't got nothing to do with it. You know why you're relying on God? Because you're scared of white folks. You on your knees praying, Lord, can you please give my child a good education? And you just spent $2 billion on Air Jordans last year, black men. Black men spent $2 billion, not billion, billion on Air Jordans. You're buying a sneaker named after a Negro with a white wife. He don't even look right with that white Cuban. You ever see Jordan walking with him? He let her go early because he know it don't even look right. He let her go 10 feet, then he come in. Young enough to be his daughter. Don't even make no sense. And then when black men get the white women, they don't even get the attractive ones. Them women look like hell. Them women are nasty looking Europeans. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You're making 10, 20, $30 million and that's the one you pick. Nasty. Mayonnaise cooking. Negroes be ready to fight me. I get 10 emails a week from black men married to white women. Like, nigga, I'm so tired of you. Wait till you come to my hood. I'm serious. My email, that's when I get home tonight. And by the way, if you want to Facebook Live and Instagram, you can. I don't mind. You think you get it in, you can watch this. And I want to thank y'all for coming and supporting me. Because see, when you bought a ticket to come here, you wasn't financing me. I'll do all right with my degrees. I'm a school psychologist. I'm fine. I ain't rich, but I'm comfortable. But you're financing that college tour I'm going to take your children on this summer. Let me talk about the college tour. For those of you who have children, sons or daughters, it's co-ed. It's co-ed. If you have sons or daughters between the age of 11 and 17, I will be hosting my 2nd annual Black College and Consciousness Tour. The first one was last year. It was beautiful. And we're going to do last year's tour again. We start in New Jersey on June 28th. I'm going to take your child to the Malcolm and Betty Shabazz Center. That's where Brother Malcolm was murdered on February 21st, 65. That's now a museum in Malcolm's honor. Your son and daughter will stand at the very place where Malcolm took his last breath. And then after we learned about Malcolm and Betty, because there would have been no Malcolm without Betty, we would then go to the world famous Apollo Theater. And we would get a tour through the whole Apollo Theater. Your children will sit in a special dressing room where some of our greatest entertainers of all time prepared for their presentations on the Apollo stage. And then we're going to have our own amateur night at the Apollo, just for ourselves. And then after that, I'm going to take them outside of Manhattan to the Ferncliff Cemetery so we can pour libation at the grave of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. And pour libation at the grave of Dr. Yusuf bin Yaqin. And pour libation at the grave of Paul Robeson. And pour libation at the grave of James Baldwin. Pour libation at the grave of young Malcolm Shabazz and Malcolm and Betty. All of them ancestors are in the same cemetery. And then we're going to go on up to a place called Auburn, New York, where a little black woman from Maryland named Araminta Ross, who changed her name to Harriet Tubman, took over 30 trips south, freeing over 300 black folks. They're going to go to the house where Harriet Tubman lived. They're going to go to the museum. They're going to go to Harriet Tubman's grave and pour libations at the grave, because I believe we should pick up the ashe of all the ancestors we can pick on up. And then we're going to drive 45 minutes to Rochester, New York, where my great ancestor, the Honorable Frederick Douglass, is resting. And we're going to pour libation at the grave of the Honorable Frederick Douglass. And then we're going to get on that bus and drive on down to the Black African Holocaust Museum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It is the only African Holocaust museum in the United States of America. And if you have not been, you better get there. The whole museum is 100% authentic artifacts from our Ma'afa brothers and sisters. There's no museum on earth that will touch you like that. They got the original whips. They got the trains. They got the bricks. They got the letters that our ancestors wrote to each other while in bondage. And then right after they come out of the African Holocaust Museum, that's going to be on July 3rd. So on July 4th, I'm going to take them down to the Liberty Bell in Independence Hall, where them slave master hypocrite crackers, Thomas Jefferson and George Washington and Benjamin Franklin and Alexander Hamilton created the United States Constitution. And at the same time, when they were pinning the Constitution right in the mall of Philadelphia, they would hang runaway blacks while they was working on freedom. And then when we're done in Philly, we're going to go to the University of Maryland, Eastern Shore Black College. And then we're going to go to Delaware State University. And then we're going to go to our two oldest, Cheney University and Lincoln University. And then we're going to come on down to Maryland. And we're going to go to Harriet Tubman's hometown, Bucktown, Maryland. And they're going to see the store where Harriet Tubman was hit upside the head by a slave master, leading her to have seizures for the rest of her life. And then we're going to go over to the Great Blacks and Wax Museum in Baltimore on North Avenue. And then I'm going to take them to Everyone's Place bookstore. And then we're going to go to Compton State University, Bowie State University, Morgan State University, the Reginald F. Lewis Museum. And then we're going to go on an Underground Railroad tour of Eastern Shore, Maryland. And then I'm going to take them to a little old cemetery across the street from a church called Bethel AME, where my ancestors are resting. A whole cemetery of Baileys. You know, Douglass was a Bailey. He changed his name when he ran away. And they'll get to meet my ancestors. And then we're going to get back over to D.C. and go to Benjamin Banneker's house where he lived. And then we're going to go on over to Howard. And then we're going to get on down to Virginia State in Hampton and Norfolk. And then we're going to end the tour at a place called Jerusalem, where a black preacher on August the 21st, 1831, Nat Turner, said God gave him a mission. What did Nat Turner say? He said, quote, slay the devil with his own weapon. And that black preacher on my birthday, August the 21st, got his homies Hart and Travis and Nelson and Sam one thing they didn't show you in the Birth of a Nation movie, Nat Turner. Nate Parker did the Nat Turner. But one thing they didn't show you, sisters, is Nat Turner had a female army rolling with him. One of Nat Turner's #1 soldiers was a black woman. And they said when they pulled this sister up, I'm forgetting her name, she cursed the crackers from the time they found her to the time they put the noose around her neck. And that black woman told the devils of Virginia, you better kill me more than once, because if you only kill me once, I'm coming back again to get your ass. 14 days and 14 nights. But don't get me wrong, it's not all consciousness. They're going to go to great adventures. Get some funnel cake. You know, calm the shit down. They're not going to build a bus like that. Then I'm going to take them to Dorney Park. And then we're going to go out into the woods in Virginia like we did last year and play paintball. I didn't know I loved paintball that much. It's the chaperones against the students. It's all of them against us. They beat us last year, but we coming back. We eat at different African restaurants every night as much as we can. And then in the hotel at night, once they done learning in the day, they got me. After dinner, seminar. Night 1, why are you going to be unapologetically African and what it means? Night 2, why all you little beautiful black girls are going to marry beautiful black men, and why all you beautiful black boys are going to marry beautiful black girls. Night 3, why you need to do well in school. Night 4, start your own business. Night 5, African history and culture. Night 6, understanding racism, what it is and how to navigate it. Night 7, what is your plan for life after high school? But I believe in informed consent. I'm a psychologist. So I want to give all you parents informed consent. This is Missouri. This was a damn border state, so.
Come on now.
This is one of them states where Abraham Lincoln let them keep the slaves and still fight for them. And some of y'all still got that slave blood. So I want to give you informed consent. Because in therapy, I got to give you a paper to sign that says this therapy might help you feel better, but it could also make you feel worse. So I'm telling y'all right now, I'm giving you informed consent. Send your child with me, son or daughter, for them 14 days. And I promise you, when they come back, they will not be who you say. So if you are a cracker-loving Negro, don't send your children on my college tour. Because I'm going to tell you right now, your 11-year-old son going to come home, he going to kick the door open. Mom, take that weave off your damn head! I'm telling you, you don't believe me? I had parents last year call me up on the phone. What did you do to my son? What do you mean? He's reading books all day long. What did you do? All I did was expose him to the truth. And if I can do that in 2 weeks, imagine what I'm going to do 180 school days a year when I get that FDMG. Not if, but when and where. And I want to invite y'all down to Nat Turner Land. See, the college tour is June 28th to July 12th. But on August the 21st, God blesses us with our first total solar eclipse since 1997. And God put it on Nat Turner Day, August 21st. So guess what we're going to be doing August 21st, 2017 this summer? We're going to be down on a Nat Turner land, remembering not only Nat Turner, but all of the heroes and sheroes and freedom fighters that our great race have given us. So if any of you have never took the Nat Turner tour, if you've never been to the church where he preached, if you've never seen the land where his wife Cherry used to live, if you've never been to the courthouse where Nat Turner was kept before he was hanged, if you never stood in the courtyard where they took the life of that greatest of black leaders, you need to be with me in Jerusalem on August the 21st, 2017. And for those of you who've never been to Africa, I got my 4th annual Africa tour coming up this summer. This year we're going to Ghana, Togo, and Benin. In In Benin, we want to go to the hometown of Toussaint L'Ouverture, leader of the Haitian Revolution. We're going to go to a city called Ouida, one of the largest slave ports out of Western Africa. We're going to participate in the African naming ceremony in Ghana. We're going to go to the Elmina dungeon, the Cape Coast dungeon. We're going to go to Asso Mansour, where our ancestors had to wash their body for the last time before they marched up to the ships. And then we're going to get you an African name by a real African king. Not the ones they give out at Kwanzaa at the library, but a real one. Because you Negroes, they went crazy. What's your name, brother? I'm Kanu Rasanet Gay. And let me say this. I don't have a problem with you having an Egyptian name. That's beautiful. That's us too. That's not allowed. That's the first. But you know what my brothers and sisters ask me when I'm in Ghana? You want to know what they ask me when I'm in Liberia? Do you want to know what they ask me when I'm in Nigeria? Do you know what they're going to ask me next week in Johannesburg? They're going to say, Dr. Umar, can you explain something to me about Black America? What? Y'all came over here from over here. So how do y'all jump past where you came from? This is where you jumped off to America. So you skip over these great cultures on the West Coast, where you came from, and go straight to Egypt. They have a big problem with the fact that, not that we deal with Egypt, we have to. That's us. But how do you ignore the most recent ancestry on the continent? Oh, yes. Now, you cannot go on my trip if you're sexually confused. And you cannot go on my trip if you're dating an alien. See, let me tell y'all what Pan-Africanism is, then I want to give the parents some tips, and we're going to start wrapping up because I want to sign books and take pictures at the end, and make sure you patronize all these vendors who are here tonight. That's right. And I can say that. Why? Why can I say you're going to patronize these vendors here tonight? Because you spent $600 million on McDonald's last year. What McDonald's do for you? Black people bought twice as many Mercedes Benzes as white folk in 2016, and you don't even have half the capital that white folks have. What is it about Mercedes Benz? Is that in our DNA? Is a Mercedes in our DNA? No, I'm going to tell you what's in your DNA. Self-hate. And the reason you bought that Mercedes ain't because you needed it. It ain't even because you wanted it. You wanted to look better than the next Negro on your block. You wake up with two motives in the morning. You wake up with a motive to be accepted by whites, and you wake up with a motive to outdo blacks. In my schools, I got kids talking about each other's sneakers. I got kids calling each other black and ugly, or you too yellow, you look like a ghost. I got kids, where they learn it? They wasn't born with self-hate. They learned it in your homes. And then I got Negroes talking about why he want to open up a residential school for boys. Why does the school have to be all overnight? What's with this overnight? I want my son to come home. I want my daughter to come home. I don't. You know why I want an overnight school?
Go ahead now.
Because first of all, many of your houses are not homes. Most of our kids raise themselves. Black man, you chasing your career more than you chasing your child. And black woman, you chasing a man more than you chasing yours. We put everything in front of our babies. And then the white man come out with some ADHD. ADHD. Ain't no daddy at home disorder. ADHD. That's all it is. Let me take you back in time. 1980, the United States government began its new mass incarceration campaign against... I need to go back.
Come on now, take your time, brother.
Let me get some water. We got to listen to the silver pop. No, that's real.
That's right.
Why? Because they poisoned Dr. Khaled.
No deal.
They poisoned Malcolm in the Middle East. They poisoned Johnny Cochran. They poisoned Patrice Lumumba's daughter, the toothpaste.
Washington.
If they can't get close to, I don't let white folks get around me. So they're going to have to use poison for me. Why they killed Johnny Cochran? They killed Johnny Cochran because after Johnny Cochran got Geronimo Pratt out of jail for free, Johnny Cochran said, I'm going to put together a panel to find how much money America owes us. This is a millionaire black man who said, I might be rich, but I'm no bourgeois. America owes reparations, and I'm going to tell you how much. And Uncle Sam heard that from the most legitimate black attorney in America. We can't let that man give us no price. Next thing you know, brain aneurysm. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, brain aneurysm. They killing people. And do you know why they blame it on the brain aneurysm? It's the most unprovable causes of death. You can't prove no brain aneurysm. That's why they use that. So I'm telling y'all right now, they tell you it was a brain aneurysm, it was a damn lie. Ain't nothing wrong with my brain. I got a big head. Now let's go back. 1968, they killed Malcolm X. I'm gonna tell you how we got from Malcolm to today.
65. All right. What?
Excuse me. Thank you, Elder. 68, they killed Malcolm. Martin!
That's right.
Why Malcolm keep coming out my mouth? Malcolm in the air. They killed Martin in 68. After they killed Martin, the United States government said, we can never let this happen again.
That's right.
Because the 1960s almost crippled America. Do you realize we almost brought this country to its knees? And do you know how we did it? We had multiple organizations coming from multiple perspectives with multiple ideologies, all centered on destroying the same enemy. Go ahead now. Why is this significant for today? For those of you who belong to the black conscious community, you know that we got a big issue of not being able to work together because we come from different ideological camps, right? You got Hebrew, Moor, Nawapian, God and Earth, Nation of Islam, Pan-African nationalists, Pan-African socialists, integrationists, vegetarian nationalists, a damn smoothie warrior. Listen, damn vegetarians is off the hook. I had a sister catch me in Atlanta airport. I lie to you not. She came over to me. I thought she wanted a picture. No, brother, I don't need no picture from you. I want to know, how is you? You like the top leader right now. Well, I don't think so. But our people think you're the top leader right now, and you still eating chicken. Damn, sister. Well, give me some soy sauce. The vegetarians, they be on me, but I've been working with the vegetarians though. I stopped eating all meat except fish about a year ago. I'm trying. I'm not no hypocrite. Every once in a while, the barbecue sauce calls me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still trying to get off my Seagram's ginger ale addiction. I'm gonna be honest with y'all because we family. And that damn Haagen-Dazs pineapple coconut. I'm gonna be honest because we got elders in here. I don't want the elders to say I was dishonest. So I'm dealing with my own addictions. Seagram's, Haagen-Dazs, and barbecue sauce. So listen, if our organizations could coordinate in the 60s, it wasn't a utopia. They fought with each other, but they coordinated. Why can't we do it? I want the Nation of Islam solution in play. I want the Moor Science Temple solution in play. We damn sure gonna put the Garveyite Pan-Africanist solution in play. I want the Nawapian solution. Why does it have to be one ideology?
Come on.
Or none at all?
Come on.
Now let me go back to Martin. The United States government had to deal with Martin Luther King, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, CORE, SNCC, Nation of Islam, Garvey Movement, Deacons for Defense, Freedom Riders, the Senate Movement.
Black Panthers, come on.
Like 30 different groups.
That's right, brother.
J. Edgar Hoover, homosexual behind, he didn't know what to do.
All right now. That's right. That's right. Go ahead.
So guess what? After they killed King, they said never again. We will never let this happen again. And somebody said, how did they finance these organizations? Because we didn't. And somebody said it was the independent black male and female business owner and tradesmen and women. It was the plumbers and the electricians and the carpenters and the bakers and the barbers who financed them. That's who financed the Panthers and Malcolm and SNCC and CORE. So the government said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to neutralize the economy of the black ghetto. Did you realize that you did not have to get a college degree to live a decent life in black America up until 1960? Most of you got parents and grandparents who worked in the factory. Livable wage, good jobs, good retirement packages. Grandpa worked in the factory, grandma worked in the factory, dad worked in the factory, grandma worked in the factory. Middle class life, middle class home. You know when all that ended? In the 70s. The white man came into St. Louis and started taking all the factory jobs out of St. Louis. They deindustrialized St. Louis. You can ride around the city now and still see the remnants of the industrial economy. And they turned many of the old factories into what? Jails. Oh, but they didn't stop. They didn't stop. Guess what else they did in the 70s? After they took the factories out the hood so you couldn't get a job, black man, they went into the high school and took out all the industrial building trades. Up until the 60s, you could graduate as a licensed carpenter, plumber, electrician, brick mason, auto mechanic. Not no more. Go into these high schools in St. Louis. Where's the plumbing? Where's the carpentry? Where's the auto body? Where's the electric? It's gone. And they tell us we got to send all our kids to college now. Ain't that something? And most of you can't wait to send your sons and daughters to college. Ain't that right? My baby going here and my baby going there. And you know where she going? She going straight into a life of debt. We got 2 million black people in America with master's and doctorate degrees who cannot even find a job. Raise your hand if you owe student loans. I need to put both of mine up. Look around this room. This ain't nothing but debt. Put them down. Raise your hand if you got a degree, but you're not working in the field your degree is in. Look at the hands in the room. You can put them down. So what good is college if it ain't doing nothing but putting black America in debt? You owe $30,000 in loans. Your son owe another $50,000. Your daughter owe $90,000. So what are you saying, Dr. Johnson? I shouldn't send my son or daughter to college? I'm not saying that. I got 6 degrees myself. That would be hypocritical. But I am saying this. I started college in 1992. That was the 20th century. We're in the 21st now. College has lost its relevance since you and I went.
That's right.
So should you send your son or daughter to college? Only if you can answer 3 questions positive. The first question, did you raise your son or daughter with enough discipline to finish and do well without you breathing over their shoulder? Because a lot of you, let's be honest, my single mothers, you know I love you. You do a good job raising them kids on your own. But some of you have done a horrible job with them boys. Let's be honest. You raised your daughter well, but your son, Raheem, is trifling. Listen, too many black women in St. Louis are raising your sons to be the exact type of man you yourself would never want to date. You want a hard-working man, your son lazy as hell. You want a responsible man, your son irresponsible as hell. Could it be that you can't find what you're looking for because you keep on making the wrong thing for somebody else's daughter? And black men, you don't need to be warned nothing. Because we have not been on our job. All these black women raising these boys on their own, they should have men running up to them. Sister, I'm going to take him home. That's right. This shouldn't be a black boy in St. Louis who ain't got a black man on him. Yes. And until that's the case, we ain't on our job. None of us is. If I can find time to have mentors and I'm traveling 6 continents, why can't you?
Go ahead now. That's good.
And then some of y'all want to use the mentorship to get with the mommy. I'm going to be his big brother. Hoping I can get a little cookie. You know, brothers go crazy over cookies. Butter almond, butter pecan, sweet brown sugar! Starbucks mocha latte. Good God almighty. But brothers, it can't be about the mothers, it got to be about the sons. I had a mother call me up last year. She had a good mentor for her son. She broke up with her boyfriend. The mentor stepped to her and said, listen, I've been in love with you for these past 5 years. I've been working with your son. Can we at least go on a date? She said, I'm not interested in you. Son never heard from him again. So, kill king, deindustrialize the hood. See, y'all keep talking about slavery destroyed the black family. St. Louis, slavery did not destroy. Do you realize we were still married from 1865 to 1965? Slavery didn't destroy the black family. We stayed together even in slavery when it was illegal. So what happened to the black family? When do we start seeing the rise of single black mothers and the decline of two-parent household? The 70s. And do you want to know why? That's when they deindustrialized the hood. That's when the black man was no longer economically relevant to the black female. I said that's when the black man stopped being economically relevant to the black female. And then the 80s came. The CIA came in with what? Mega bomb number 1, crack!
That's right. That's right, brother.
And the black man had a decision. I can smoke it to deal with the fact I'm not able to take care of my family, or I can sell it and try to take care of my family. But either way you go, it lands you in prison. So then come the 1990s, Bill Clinton's crime bill. And y'all said Bill Clinton was the best thing since sliced bread. That damn weed smoking cracker from Arkansas, he put more black men in jail than any Republican you can name.
That's right. That's right.
For the first time in American history, black men would go to jail for not committing a violent crime. Bill Clinton said 3 strikes and you out, 3 felonies and you go to jail for the rest of your life. And then he said, anytime they get caught with drugs, we're not going to put them in a treatment center. We're not going to put them in a halfway house. They're going to jail for 5 years minimum. See, this is how you got to 2017. Kill King, deindustrialize the hood, drop off the crack, Bill Clinton crime bill, and then 2000. What did they give us in 2000? George W. Bush, faith-based initiative.
That was it.
For the first time, the black church could qualify for federal grants. Am I wrong, Queen Mother? Have you noticed the black church has been missing in action from every struggle we have had lately? You don't see them with police genocide. You don't see them with miseducation. You don't see them with mass incarceration. 50 years ago, you couldn't walk up to a pastor and tell him he was gay. Today you can. And he say, whoop, whoop. But listen to what I'm saying, y'all. The faith-based initiative, look at the initials. FBI. The preacher is the new informant in the black community. When they want to find out what I'm doing in St. Louis, they call it church. When they want to find out what I'm doing in New York, they call it church.
Come on now.
And you Negroes still going to a church that don't do nothing for the community. There's exceptions to the rule, but it ain't many. That pastor know how to psychologically traumatize and stabilize your ass. You're going to go to church on Sunday. Today Friday, 48 hours, you're going to go to church. You're going to say, Pastor, I just heard Dr. Umar Friday. I didn't agree with everything he said, but I think a lot of what he said, Pastor, was true. Dr. Umar said we need black power, and I agree, we need black power. You going to get out his Bible?
Come on, man.
And he's going to say, son, your spirit is perturbed. You worrying about power? Is that what I heard? You was down there with that damn racist Umar Johnson? Wasn't he caught up with the conscious stripper or some shit? And then the pastor gonna go, my Lord says,
Come on.
blessed are the poor, for they shall inherit the kingdom of God. And then you say, but Pastor, we got half the black men in St. Louis unemployed, half the black men in Kansas City unemployed. These black men can be men to their women, and that's why the women feel like they're useless. We got to help black men get jobs and employment. And you're going to say, oh, you worried about money. Blessed are the meek. They shall inherit the earth. And then you start saying, But he said, let me give you something else, son. Because you worry about money too much. The camel will go through the eye of the needle before a rich man inherit the riches. And then the pastor tells you, son, you know why the black man in the position he is? It ain't because of the white man. It's because he has lost his commitment to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Have you been baptized yet, son? And then, if he ain't got you yet, most of y'all can be done right there. And if he ain't got you yet, he will say, just a second, son, I know you're dealing with the devil right now. He's going to bring the choir out. Sisters, one brother, and the brother gonna be in the middle. Now, when he joined the choir, he was swagalicious, but he did some two Kirk Franklin remixes. And when they hit that, whoo, whoo, he be twerking more than the girls. And after the choir hit that note, you done. Everything I just said to you tonight was dissipated. Because the pastor is a master psychologist. And he knows how to take the most revolutionary black and break you down and make you feel loving your race is a crime before God. I should have been a pastor. You know how many schools I have right now? Put a big white Jesus out there. This is our Father. And rebuke anyone who says not. But brothers and sisters, as I prepare to wrap this up, I want to give my parents 5 tips for the schools. We at the end of the school year, right? When is the last day in St. Louis public schools? Last day for students? Go ahead. Say it, little brother. May. What day? You know the day? May 25th? Okay. End of May. Good job. End of May, you, what's your name? Marvell? Pleased to meet you, Marvell. Go back to my table and tell them you get a free Nat Turner hoodie. Go ahead back there and get your free Nat Turner hoodie. Give Marvell a Nat Turner hoodie. Tip number 1 for black parents. I hope y'all listen if y'all got children. Never, ever, ever let your child get evaluated at the end of the school year. What is Dr. Umar Johnson's rule? After April the 1st, we ain't letting no more Caucasians test black kids for special ed. Why? Because normally when they tested black kids at the end of the school year, it's to get the extra money in the budget next year. Did y'all hear me? Because every time I put a kid in special ed, the school gets paid. Special ed is a hustle. Special ed is a racket. Special ed is a con game of making money off of black children you know you never taught in the first place. The second reason you don't get kids tested at the end of the school year. Who wanted the child tested? The teacher, right? Raheem is in the 3rd grade. 3rd grade teachers say he can't learn how to read, right? Why would you put him in special ed next year with a new teacher, a new grade, new classmates, off of what the last teacher done? Did y'all follow what I just said? Why is your son going in special ed for 4th grade when it was the 3rd grade teacher who had the issues? How do you know the 4th grade teacher going to view your son the same way as last year's teacher? You don't test your kids at the end of the school year unless you're looking for an SSI check. Because some of you Negroes be hustling your own kids. Let's call it what it is. Everybody pimping a black boy. The black boy is the new corporation. Psychiatrists get paid, police get paid, judge get paid, counselor get paid, social worker get paid, school get paid, mommy get paid, and he gets enslaved. Rule number 2 for parents: never go to the school by yourself. Never go to the school by yourself. Never go to a school meeting by yourself. Why? Because the school is a criminal operation. They seek to manipulate you. They seek to bully you. They seek to intimidate you. They seek to mislead you. And they seek to coerce you. I know because I'm a principal and a psychologist. I know how to get down. They will put a black mother in the room. Black mothers, does this sound familiar? You by yourself? And they come in with 25 crackers for one black mother. Raise your hand, black woman, if you ever went through that. Why am I outnumbered? Look at these hands. Why am I outnumbered? And then this is what they do. You got the black mother in the middle, the principal, vice principal, principal intern, dean of students, grade group leader, reading specialist, counselor, social worker, psychologist, basketball coach, trash man, window sweeper. Why do they gang up on y'all, black mothers? Why they gang up on y'all? Because they're trying to intimidate you intellectually. Do you know the purpose of ganging up on you is? To make you feel you might be his mother, but we have the degrees. You feel me, Queen?
Man, hurry up.
Get us some therapy! I'm good. We have it. So they're trying to get you to feel you the mom, but I went to Harvard. You the dad, but I went to Yale. And what do you say to that? You may have went to Harvard, you may have went to Yale. I ain't got nothing but a GED, but let me explain something to you. I got a PhD when it comes to that child. You got to talk back to them so they know not to play games with you. And then they're going to come at you. And then they're going to come at you and they're going to say, but your son is in the 6th grade. He's reading on the 3rd grade level. He's 3 grades behind. And what's the first thing you're supposed to say? You're supposed to say, what is the instructional reading level in my son's classroom? Did y'all hear what I just said? Whenever they start talking that he's 3 grade levels behind, your first question, what is the instructional reading level in my son's class? Do you know why you want to ask that question? Because if your son is in the 6th grade, reading on the 3rd grade level, and you find out that the instructional level for all the kids in his class is the 4th, he ain't too far behind now, is he? Did y'all see that? The average black child is 2 grades beneath where they're supposed to be. So what made them choose your son, your daughter, and pull them out and put them in special ed and leave the rest of them alone? You want to know how they made the decision? They made the decision based on poverty. They made the decision based on fatherlessness. Boys who come from single, unemployed mothers are more likely to be put in special ed and diagnosed with ADHD. And this takes me to my 3rd point. I need my mothers to hear me. I ain't got to tell the fathers to hear me, because fathers know better. Because we've been through the school system. Everything they did to our son, they did to us, so we know how to handle it. But mothers, it's a little different for y'all because y'all never been a black male. So I need y'all to listen to me, moms. Every mother listen. Stop telling the school your personal family business. Black moms, stay looking for sympathy from white people. Black mothers, stay looking for sympathy from white people. Let me tell you how they get you. Damn, I need another one of those. Where the mother waters at, Brother Darryl? St. Louis water good. It got asbestos, autism, crack drips in it. I had an ADHD moment, but I'm back now. Listen, you better cut it out, Queen Mother. Listen, you go to the school, right? And you say, listen, Miss Slurbanowski. Miss Slurbanowski. This is the 3rd time you've called me to come get my son out of school early. I'm a single mother. I have 3 kids. My oldest son, his dad in jail. He ain't coming home. My second child, his son got murdered. My 3rd child, I don't know where his daddy at. I'm raising 3 kids on my own. My mother was nice enough to let me use her spare back room. Me and my 3 kids is living in my mother's house. 4 of us in the same room. But listen to me, Miss Lebanowski. I started a new job last week, a good job. My boss just gave me a promotion, but my probation period is 90 days. I cannot call off. I cannot take off early. I cannot come in late. Miss Lebanowski, I know my son is hard. You know why? His daddy in jail. They were like this. My son and his daddy was like this. The daddy not there. This ain't no ADHD. This is absent daddy from home disorder, Miss Lebanowski. So if you can work with me, miss, I know you got 30 kids. But if you can work with me, I promise you, once I become permanent at my job, Raheem's behavior will change totally. Just give me 3 months. Can you work with me, Miss Lebanowski? Can you just give me 3 months? Please, I'm begging you, miss. I do not want to put my son on drugs. Please. And then she plays your ass. She goes, oh my God. I had no idea our African-American mothers were under such distress. I'm about to cry. I'm tearing just hearing it. Would you like a water, Shaquita? And then she says, oh, I ain't done. And then she says, oh my God. I know this is going to sound phony because I'm white. I get it. But listening to your story gives me so much hope because I'm just recently divorced and I'm raising 3. And then she says, Shaquita, you're not going to believe this, but you're my hero. Can we pray together? So you pray with this cracker to a white Jesus. You go home. You think y'all worked it out. She go right to the principal office. Dr. Silverstein. Dr. Silverstein? I feel bad telling you this, but Miss Shaquita, Raheem's mother, she just left my room. She was crying. I don't know if she's on crack or... Am I lying? Am I lying? Am I lying, mothers? I don't know if she was on crack, but her eyes were very bold. I know black people got big eyes, but these were really huge. And I don't want her to get in trouble, Dr. Silverstein. I really don't. But I know I have to tell you everything, and I don't want to say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to just do it because it's about Raheem. It's about supporting Raheem, who she suspended 50 times. It's about supporting Raheem. I really believe Miss Shaquita smelled like reefer. Your trip to the school to get the cracker to back off turned into a referral to Child Protective Services. You know how it started? Because you ran your damn mouth about your personal business. Don't tell them nothing! Because it's a prison. The school is a jail. And anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Point number 4 of 5. And I'm going to wrap up. Point number 4. The learning disability is an opinion. The learning disability is an opinion. ADHD is an opinion. Emotional disturbance is an opinion. Mild mental retardation is an opinion. I've been a school psychologist for almost 20 years. I've testified in due process. I've helped standardize some of the major assessments. I know my craft. When I sit down and test your child, the only thing the test gives me is what? What does the test give me? Scores. Does the test give me a diagnosis? No. Where does the diagnosis come from? Me! It's my job to look at the scores, interview the mom, interview the teacher, observe the kid, and from what I see, I believe that there's a chance that Raheem may be retarded. I believe that there's a chance that Shaquita may have a math disability. I believe that there's a chance that little Randy may have a math disability. Is it a fact? No. Is it scientific? No. It's nothing but my opinion. So will you parents please stop running around here talking about my son got a reading disability. Your son ain't got a reading disability. Do you know what he got? A sloppy and lazy as hell Negro child disability. That's your son's problem. I could diagnose your son right now. I can diagnose your son. No test, I don't need no test. That Negro wants to be the next LeBron, and he don't think nothing else matters. Tell me at home. Tell me at home. You're talking about, Dr. Johnson, will you come to St. Louis? Could you sit down with my son and do a couple little tests and tell me what you think? I ain't even got to do no tests. I'm going to walk in your house and I'm going to scan your home for books. I'm scanning your home for a dictionary. I'm scanning your home for a thesaurus. I'm scanning your home for a quiet place where a growing child can sit down in silence and do some damn work. And guess what? Your house is not conducive to academics. You ain't got a book in there. You ain't got a bookshelf. You ain't got a dictionary. You ain't got a thesaurus. No room is quiet. No room is quiet. Special ed? Special ed ain't nothing but the highway to jail. Why you put your kid in special ed for? Because they told me he would get extra help. You know what they do with them kids? They put him in a damn room with a bunch of other throwaway boys, and they give him photocopies and Sesame Street all day long. Oh, you don't believe me? I work in them classrooms. There's nothing special about special ed. Can I say it again? There's nothing special about special ed. And if you don't believe in psychiatric medicine, you don't believe in ADHD. Did you hear me, mothers? If you don't want to give them no Concerta, if you don't want to give them no Ritalin, if you don't want to give them no Adderall, if you don't want to give them no Strattera, if you're not going to give them no Vyvanse, no Depakote, no Prozac, why was he tested? What was the purpose of the ADHD test? You know what the purpose was? To get a label so they can force you to put the pills in his mouth. And we know that Ritalin is what? 1 molecule away from cocaine. And this is what you give your son. And they don't even tell you that it sterilizes boys. He won't even be able to have kids because his mother and daddy thought it was necessary for him to be able to sit still long enough to learn about Christopher Columbus. As I close, when I open up the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, there will be no special ed. There will be no Ritalin. There will be no ADHD. That's why I'm calling my school Heaven on Earth. And guess what I'm going to do for all the slow-ass black kids? I'm going to have a special assembly. If you are on meds or IEP or med, report to the and I'm going to get all my ADHD, learning this, reading, math, autism. I'm going to say, well, autism is real, so some of them are going to be excluded. And the reason we got so many black kids diagnosed with autism is because I love putting white shots in their arms. Oh, you ain't been paying the news? Paying attention to the news? What did the FDA say last week? They finally admitted it. They finally admitted that there's a link between the vaccinations and autism. When you went to school, did you ever have an autistic classmate? I never had an autistic classmate. If you're 40 and over, you never had an autistic classmate. Your children get one every year.
That's right.
Because you're giving white people shots. And guess what they put in them shots? Time-release cancer, time-release breast cancer, time-release heart attack, time-release stroke. Black people have the most superiorly designed immune system on earth. We're the original man and woman. We don't need no cracker giving us no chemicals. And on top of that, you need to ask yourself, why would people trying to get rid of you help you live longer? Parents, do one thing. Make sure your children read one book a month until they move out of your house. Make sure your children read one book a month. Non-fiction. I'm not talking no Harry Potter. Why do I want that to happen? 4 things happen when you read. Your children pick up new vocabulary words without even knowing what they are. Their brain had already mastered it just to read. Number 2, your children improve their ability to understand the world that they live in. General facts and information. Number 3, reading improves your child's ability to communicate with the written word. Number 4, reading improves your child's ability to communicate with the spoken word. So let me ask you a question. When will your child need to be proficient? In writing, vocabulary, spoken word, and general facts and information. Missouri State Assessment. You put your kid in a white private school, you're paying $15,000 a year. The white private school ain't doing a better job teaching your black kid. You know what they're doing a better job of? Reinforcing literacy skills. That's it. He's doing better because the tests that they give our children are designed for middle-class white children on their grade level. And black kids in St. Louis are not exposed to the level of vocabulary that they expose middle-class white kids to. So just by transferring your child to a white school, the scores go up, not because they're being taught, but they're being exposed to a whole different level of vocab. In conclusion, parents, if you haven't read my book, make sure you get it. And if you still have questions after that, I have a free Black Parent teleconference that I've been running for the past 5 years. Free. If you ever have a question about your son or daughter, any of you, education or mental health, you can call me every Tuesday, 6 a.m. until 8 a.m. Take your phone out, I'm going to give you the number. Take your phone out, I'm going to give you the number. And I'm going to give you my number because some of y'all got children who need to be on my college tour. Some of y'all want to go with me to Africa this summer. First, let me give you my cell phone number. My number is area code 215-989-9858. I repeat it twice, 215-989-9858. Last time for my special ed parents. 215-989-9858. Don't be eating no chicken wings out the Chinese store. You hear me, princess? No more chicken wings. Y'all don't eat no chicken wings, right? Listen, don't eat the chicken wings. Listen, let me tell you something. The next time you get a chicken wing from the Chinese store, I want you to look at the wing and tell me if that look like a wing or a hand. They're feeding you dog. No more chicken. Now, black folks better stop eating out the Chinese store. You know damn well there ain't no chicken wings. When you ever see a chicken look like that? That's a damn muscle, an arm muscle. They don't change the grease. When the last time you seen the Chinese store change the grease? Have you ever seen them change the grease? Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you the phone number for the Tuesday morning call. The number I just gave you, my personal cell phone, okay? You can text me for the link for the college tour registration next week. You can text me for the Tuesday morning call, but I'm going to give you the Tuesday morning call right now, but you can text me for it if you don't get it. The number is 857-232-0158. 857-232-0158. 857-232-0158. And there's an access code. There's an access code. Access code is 870-864-POUND. 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 Brothers and sisters, I thought I was coming to St. Louis with some good news last week. I was up in Mount Vernon, New York, and we found a Catholic school in Mount Vernon, New York. Clean, perfect, it ain't need no work. They wanted a certain amount of money for the lease, because we ain't got enough money to buy it. And I want to thank St. Louis because you guys are very, very instrumental in the FDMG, because my first donation for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy came on this stage. So wherever that school is at, and it might even be in St. Louis. Y'all got some empty schools around here? brother, me and my good brother from Better Family Life, they're going to help me get my hands on them school lists. I'm going to come back and I'm going to walk through these schools and see what we can do. All right? And by the way, the missing girls in D.C., they might be missing to us, but they ain't missing to the white man. Guess what they're using them for? Organ harvesting and biological weapons experiments. You think it's a coincidence that they're missing from D.C., which is only a rock throw away from the United States Army biological weapons lab? You seen the Henrietta Lacks story. They've been experimenting on black women since the beginning of time. But what they're not telling you is Henrietta Lacks ain't unique. All you black women got something special in your DNA. And do you want to know why? Why does the black woman have something so special in her DNA? Because you are the only human being, sister. You are the only human being, sister. You are not only the oldest human being, you're the only human being whose DNA comes from supreme consciousness itself. Everybody else comes from the black woman. The black woman comes from God. So everything about you is different. And that's why we want our sisters to be unapologetically yourself. I love black women. I love everything about you. I love the way you cook. I love the way you walk. I love the way when you first get your hair done and you know you look good and you walk. Damn! That new hairdo look. She's just like, yeah. I love it. So sisters, be original. And brothers, we got to start showing our boys to respect and honor black women wherever we find them. Black men, if you got a woman in your life and y'all walking down the street and you see a group of little boys playing, you know what you should do? You should stop, hug and kiss your mom, kiss your queen, and then tell him this is the best thing ever happened to me. We got to sell love of black women to black boys, because right now there's a war that's crucifying the image of the black family right before our eyes. You see Empire. Yeah. Let's look at this now.
Come on now.
You got Lucius, Cookie, Hakeem, Andre, Jamal. Lucius, narcissistic, power-hungry black man, hate his son's mother. You got Cookie, stereotypical, big mouth, power-hungry hood rat. Hakeem, hyper-masculine, hip-hop head, uses women but don't like it. Andre, bougie, Ivy League, white having Negro, but he started liking a piece of chocolate last season. And then you got Jamal. Cut it out. Jamal. Hyper feminine, in love with a white male. But he did not know. Anyway, how do you have 4 black men leading roles, #1 miniseries on television, and not a single one has a positive relationship with a black woman? Look at that! They conditioning our children. They want black boys to think black women ain't worth nothing. That's why all these reality shows project black women with the same image. Thirsty, masculine, materialistic, cutthroat. That's right. I believe reality shows were created to kill the image of the black female so no black men go wrong. I'm going to close with my quote. I'm going to close with my quote from my ancestor Frederick Douglass. And afterwards, y'all want to do Q&A or y'all want to go straight to the business? And you want your book signed? Okay, we'll probably do 5 questions. And then after that, y'all want to come and support my brother here. Y'all want to come and support the queen here. Y'all will come and support Power in One. My good brother's right there. Y'all going to come down there and support our African family down there. Then you're going to come over here and support the brother right here. Support the family in the back and support our family right here. We don't have a lot of vendors, so you know what that means? You know what that means? If we don't have a lot of vendors, they should all go home sold out. I'm asking everybody in here before you leave, support 2 of them. I don't care which 2 you choose. If you can support them all, support them all. It's better for you and blessings from the ancestors. But if you can only support 2, find 2 vendors and buy something from them. That's all I ask of you. Because you've been putting Chinese kids through college, getting nothing back from it. You've been putting Jewish kids through college, getting nothing back from it. You've been putting Arab children through college, getting nothing back from it. So please sell out our vendors tonight. And when I'm done with my quote, we'll do the 5 questions, and then we'll do pictures and books. And my stuff is in the back, Nat Turner wear. You cannot buy anything Nat Turner if you're dealing with an alien. But you are allowed to buy a book, and you are allowed to buy a DVD. I also have original Marcus Garvey red, black, and green flags back there. So if you don't have a red, black, and green, not made in China, made in Marcus Garvey Central, then you better get your, wave it high, sister, wave it up. If you ain't got that hanging in your house, you ain't unapologetically African. Get one tonight. Frederick Douglass said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. He said, power can seize nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. He said, the limits of tyrants are prescribed by those whom they oppress. We decide how bad our oppressor is going to beat on us, not us. Frederick Douglass said, a man may not get everything he works for in this world, but he will work for everything he gets. And you will have to pay for this with blood, or with boldness, or with both, but he who wants to be free must himself strike the first blow. Frederick Douglass said, for 20 years I prayed on my knees to God for freedom. For 20 years I prayed on my knees to God for freedom, but the good Lord gave me no freedom until I got up off my knees and started praying with my feet. Frederick Douglass said, if you want respect from white people, if you want respect from white people, why do you look for pity? The man who pities you will never respect you. And the man who respects you has no need for pity. But most of all, he said, power can seize nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. The Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey said, without confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. Without confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. But with confidence, you have won even before you have started. Marcus Garvey was once asked, are you an African or are you a Jamaican? Are you an African or are you a Jamaican? And the leader of the largest black organization in modern history, the only mass leader to never take a penny from another race, the man who gave us this flag, Marcus Garvey said, you ask me, am I an African or am I a Jamaican? And I say to you, I would never give up. I would never give up a continent for an island. I am an African. Yesterday, today, and for all time. Let me call on my ancestors, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be. I want to call on Father Bailey, who was stolen from West Africa in 1701, took him to Maryland. I want to call on Grandma Selah, who he married, for whom my 5-year-old daughter is named. I want to call on Grandma Jenny, who was born in 1745. I'm going to call on Grandma Betsy Bailey, who was born in 1774, who married a free black man, Grandpa Isaac. She was enslaved, but Isaac was free. They had 12 children. One daughter was named Harriet, another daughter was named Betsy. These 2 sisters were raped by Aaron Anthony, the white man who owned our family, last year on the college tour, and this year on the college tour. If your children go, they will meet a descendant of the white man who raped my family. Oh yes. He does the Underground Railroad tour. He says, I'm a descendant of Aaron Anthony. And the sad thing about that is so am I. But I would never call him a no libation. Anyway, Harriet was raped and she gave birth to Frederick Bailey, February 1818. Frederick Bailey runs away, changes his name from Frederick Bailey to Frederick Douglass. The next year, her little sister, young Betsy, my 5 times great-grandmother, was raped by the same man, giving birth to Frederick's half-brother, first cousin, my 4 times great-grandfather, Stephen Henry Bailey. When the Civil War started, Frederick didn't fight, but Grandpa Steve did. He married a black woman who was also a slave, Grandma Caroline. Their firstborn son was my 3 times great-grandfather, George Washington Bailey, the nephew of Frederick Douglass, first black public school teacher, Eastern Shore, Maryland. When the Civil War is over, Grandpa George marries Grandma Annie, They have Grandma Caroline. She moves to Philadelphia. She has Grandma Vivian. She marries a Spanish-speaking Cuban immigrant, my Grandpa Cicero from Havana, Cuba. And I'll be going to Cuba in August to speak for the first time. And then they had Grandma Ida, who's still living. She met and married James Johnson. They had my daddy Jamal. He met Barbara in North Philly. And on the anniversary of Nat Turner, and the anniversary of the Haitian Revolution, and the anniversary of the George Jackson assassination, and the anniversary of the Anti-Slavery Conference, Umar Johnson was born in North Philly. St. Louis, Missouri, one love, black family. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. One love. I will be in Kansas City Sunday. I will be in Kansas City Sunday. If you got family and friends in Kansas City, text my phone so I can give you the flyer. I will be at the Mary Kelly Center, Kansas City, day after tomorrow. Doors open at 3, program 5 to 8. If you have a question, raise your hand. I'm only going to take 5. 1, 2, 3, Queen. 4, Queen. 5, 6. You my last one, Princess. You're 6. Who's my number 1? Sir. And I'm going to repeat the question. Support the vendors, but quietly, quietly, quietly. Excellent. Listen up. The brother's question was, and we're going to start that line there. We're going to start the book sign and picture line over here. Don't come up the steps, but at the bottom of the steps, that's the line. The brother asked me about the role that the white woman plays in white supremacy. Guess what her job is? The white woman's job is to psychologically disarm black men and women with compassion. The job of the white woman is to get you to drop your guard. He sends her in to say, can we all get along? He sends her in to say, my ancestors were not slave masters. He sends her in to say, we want to work with you. And she confuses you, you drop your guard, and then he comes in with the machete. Number 2.
Number 2, can you finish your, I got it.
Pass it to the queen, go ahead,
Can
Gordon.
you give 3 points that you, or questions that you should be able to answer if your child should go to college? You started, but you didn't.
Question number 1. She wanted to know the questions. If you want your child to go to college, because I didn't finish because of my ADHD. Question number 1, do they have the discipline to finish? Question number 2, are they majoring in something that is economically relevant for their future? And question number 3, are they majoring in something that is politically beneficial to the black community? Do they have the discipline? Is it going to make a difference in their life? Is it going to make a difference for us as a people? 3 rules. Excellent. Who's my number 3? Where my 3 at? Queen. And you are gorgeous. Look at the chocolate in that queen. Go right ahead. Yes. No, they're not. Okay. The question is about childhood immunizations. Listen up. 2 states require immunization. They only respect medical exemption. Mississippi and West Virginia. And now California. 3 states. In Mississippi, West Virginia, California, the only way you can get around shots is through medical exemption from the doctor. Right? 18 other states have a religious exemption. So you have to get online, State Department of Health, State Department of Education for Missouri, and see, because there's 3 exemptions. Medical, every state gives you that. So you automatically can get better. Get the doctor to write a letter, it's over, right? Then you have religious. That means if your religion does not allow you to take shots, all you have to do is write a letter. So all you got to do is say you practice voodoo. Right? So that's 18. And then the rest of the shots, they also allow for personal family belief. Check and see, because St. Louis might be personal family belief. If you live in a personal family belief state, all you got to do is write a letter that says, I don't trust white folks or any shit they do. Sign it and give it to the school. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Personal family belief, exemption. Religion, exemption. And medical. Find out which ones y'all have here. Good question. Who my number 4 of 5? Goddess. Go right ahead. He's already in special ed. What grade is he in? 4th grade. What is his IEP for? I got you. First, I'm going to beat you for signing that paper for them to evaluate. Sign it! But I know you didn't know. It's as simple as this. Do you want him out of special ed totally? If you want him out of special ed totally, all you have to do, if you want your child out of special ed totally, is call an IEP meeting and tell them I want my child exited right now. Right now. If they want to, they can fight you, file due process with Missouri, and say this child needs to stay in special ed. A hearing officer will come out. They will hear your argument why you want him out. They will hear the district argument for why they want him in. Most of the time, you will win. That's all you got to do. I don't want him in special ed. Out. It's really just that simple.
Okay, my second question is, how do I realtor now for this area?
You're a realtor.
Okay, so how do
Realtor, what you say?
Yes,
So I need you to give me a list of schools then.
I'm serious.
Give me a list of
I
schools.
know I'm very
I'm very serious. I'll come right back.
How do I implement a program to let our people know about credit readiness and for home ownership? Because my problem is a lot of our people are paying someone else and we're smarter than that. And I'm learning that because they don't let too many of us
That's right. That's right.
And I've had it, and my goal is to teach every last one of you that you don't have
Oh.
to
Strong. Question, where your business cards at? You came to a Dr. Umar lecture without no business cards! You got some? You got some though. Make sure y'all see this sister. Real estate, trying to get a home, trying to save a home, trying to break into a home. See this sister. Who my number 5? My brother. Pleased to meet you. Dr. Yusuf bin Yakinen, black man of the Nile, Africa, mother of Western civilization. Read everything, Dr. And also Dr. John Henry Clark. And also Dr. Ivan Van Sertin. And also Dr. George G.M. James. And also Dr. John G. Jackson. All right? Text me and I'll send you the names. Read them all. Master teachers. Last question is for my princess. I'll bow to you. You can ask yours for the microphone.
My question was, how did Harriet Tubman die?
How did Harriet Tubman die? Harriet Tubman almost lived to be 100 years old. She died a natural death. I believe she contracted pneumonia and ultimately died of pneumonia. But she died a full life. She lived a full life, almost 100. There's a message in that for you, princess. You know what it is?
Yes, it is.
Harriet Tubman lived a very dangerous life, right? She was helping our ancestors escape from slavery to freedom. Then she was a nurse. Exactly. So you know her story. I'm proud of you. But the point, she was not scared of nobody but God. Do you understand me? And I never want you to be afraid of nobody but God either. Do you got me? And I'm going to tell you something else. Harriet Tubman was married twice. First time she was married, the husband was not a strong black man. Did you hear what I said? So she had to let him go. She went and found her a stronger black man. So Dr. Umar is telling you, because I got 2 daughters, don't you ever let nobody treat you less than your best. Do you understand me? And don't you ever settle for anything that ain't the best thing that you need. You are a God, you are a goddess, you are a reflection of supreme consciousness walking this planet. You understand? You are beneath nothing. And don't you ever forget that. Ashe? Ashe. With that being said, I'm going to start the line over here. Yes, Queen Mother. So good to see you.